Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun episode 35. If you are new to my channel, then welcome. Go grab a cup of tea, get comfy, because today we're talking about quilting, which is one of my kind of newest hobbies. I started it when COVID started. My God, was that really 3 years ago that this whole pandemic thing rocked our world? Yeah, it's gonna be 3 years. Wow. Anyway, that's when I started to learn to quilt. I had sewn for years and years, made all kinds of dresses and outfits for the kids and maternity wear and all kinds of stuff. But I'd never quilted. I'd never cut pieces of fabric up to sew them back together again. I thought that was a bit dumb. But then I found it and I love it. So hence Fridays, we talk about my quilting journey. Mondays is all about the knitting. So if you're interested in knitting, pop over on Mondays for some knitting. And Wednesdays is all about the cross stitch. So there's lots to pick and choose from. You can watch every single one each week. They're usually about 20 minutes long. I don't try to make them too long. And or just come back on the days you feel like watching. But I would ask you to subscribe if you could, please, because it'll help to grow the channel. And tell your mates. Most important. Most important. Anyway, so today I've got a couple of things to show you. As you know, or maybe you don't know, I have about 8 project bins, which means there's 8 projects on the go. Whoops. Although a lot of them, I have to say, at least about 4 or 5 of them are all like block of the month things. So when the new block comes out, it's just one block to make and there you go, you're done. So that's not too bad. One such block of the month is the Designer Mystery Series, which is by the Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the finished, or what will the finished quilt look like when it's done. It's going to be quite big. It's 80.5 by 80.5 finished. Now, you can buy this. The whole kit was on sale at the Fat Quarter Shop where I got mine. And, well, I shouldn't say on sale. I mean, was available to purchase. Let's get that right. And it was expensive, but my gosh, the fabric is beautiful. It is Nantucket Summer, and I absolutely love it. It's a fabulous line. And of course, the kit that's now, which was the finishing kit, is no longer available. And I don't even think you can sign up for the Designer Block of the Month for it. So, okay, how does it work, Ken? You're confusing me. I know I'm confusing myself. Don't even worry about it. So this is the finishing. You can buy just this pattern by itself. So if you had 12 other blocks, 16.5 by 16.5 finished, or even 12.5 because you had borders to make them 16.5, then you could use the same setting. And you can just buy this pattern by itself if you wanted to. So it calls for 5 of these, I think they're called Ohio Star blocks, and then 8 of these log cabin blocks. And then each month we're getting a new designer square to go in here, which means a designer that they have chosen, they picked 12, has designed a block to go in here. And so far we have got 4. And I will show you in a little bit all of them together. But for right now, I will show you what block 4 looks like that just arrived. Isn't it lovely? So you actually get an envelope in the mail with just the fabric to make the bit in the middle, not these 2 borders, because that's part of the finishing kit. So the bit in the middle is what you get to make. And you get all the fabric to make that as well. So if you wanted to finish it in a different manner. You could just get the blocks each month and do it your own way. You didn't have to get the finishing kit. But isn't that gorgeous? I can't see what you can see, so I'm trying to, and of course, I'm trying to show you what the light looks like. The white has this gorgeous little honeycomb in it as well. It's a white on white. It's the same as this, but it's white on white. So here is block number 4. So I have done 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I believe 5 is just shipped. Ooh. And so while I've been waiting each month for the blocks to come, not that I have a lot of time to in between anyway with all the other projects, but I have been working on the finishing kit. So working on these. So what I have done is I have actually done all 5 of the Ohio stars. So this is what they all look like. And they are basically just all the same. There's 5 of them here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are all done now. And yes, I starched all my fabric. A good friend of mine, Bonnie, got me on the whole starching kick. And it really does make a difference to me, to how my points are all matching up, because the fabric isn't moving so much underneath the needle. Yeah, it's just turning out a lot nicer in my opinion. So that was the 5 of them that are done. So those are done now. And what I did was I made just one, and then I made one of the log cabin blocks, which is this. I think it goes that way. It could go that way. Depends on which way it goes in the thing. But this is the log cabin block. So I made one of each just to see how they turn out. And then what I did was I sat down and sewed all in one go, all chain piecing, all the pieces for the Ohio Star. And I managed to get all those finished today, because even the little corner blocks were fiddly. You know, you had to make like a ton of them. So anyway, they turned out lovely. So then what I started on was the center of the, let me find it and show you. The centers of the log cabin block. So that's what I'm working on right now. So you had to take your squares and divide them into 4. So 2 diagonals to get a bunch of little triangles, which you then had to sew together to make these little things. Hourglass, I think they call them. And then once we'd made our hourglasses, then it was time to put all the little blocks to them and sew it into the, isn't this pretty? I really think that this is sweet. So I have to make, so I've already done 1. I have to make 8 log cabin blocks altogether. So I've already done 1 completed. Here is a center. So I need to make 6 more centers. So 6 more of these. So I'm going to make all these first before I start going around the edges with all the strips to do the log cabin. So that's what will happen next. So I have been slowly working on that. I just leave my bits out on my table on one of my designer boards, and then when I come down for a half an hour or an hour, I just shove some under and I just make them as I'm going, and then go back upstairs, do something else in the house, go out with my husband, take the dog for a walk, knit, watch TV, watch my football yesterday. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. it's actually soccer for people in North America, but I'm from England originally, and I've lived here for 40 odd years now in Canada, but I still love soccer, football. And my team is Liverpool, of course, because that's where I was born and raised until I moved to Canada. We won yesterday, 7-1. Whoa! So I was very happy about that. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on that. And the only other thing I did this week, because I'm trying to not bounce from thing to thing, I'm trying to concentrate on one project per week when I'm not doing a block of the month. I'm not really sure it's working. The only other thing that I did do was I made this cover for my sewing machine. And this was a panel which has, look, it has little pockets. Pockets on this side, that's a big pocket, and the one on this side is 2 small pockets. Ooh. So I love it. It's a friend of mine. I was really sick a couple of months ago with that horrible cold that I thought was COVID, but it really wasn't, but I still think it was. And so she dropped that panel off at my door one day to make me feel better. Oh, thank you, Brenda. So I made that the other day. It took me about 2.5 hours, and I'll put in a little video, sort of picture video of how I did it, what happened, and how it looks finished on my sewing machine. So the first thing I did was cut everything out with my rotary cutter and ruler. Added the interfacing to the back, so this is them all cut and interfaced. Then I started on the pockets, added the pockets to the sides. Then you had to put the top and the bottom to the handle and then sew them together. That was kind of interesting. And finally I worked on the hem. And here is my finished object. Doesn't that look cute? So there. I hope you enjoyed that little snippet. I have nothing else for you now. Yeah, I'm done. So is any new clues dropping next week? Oh, next week we've got the start of socialites. Is anybody doing socialites? Come on. If you don't know what that is, that's a free sew along with the Fat Quarter Shop. And I think it's a weekly, so I don't even know if I'll be able to keep up with that one. I can barely handle all the monthly ones I'm doing, never mind a weekly. But I'm using Love Notes for that one. It's going to be lovely. Oh, and then at the end of the month is the Scrappiness is Happiness sew along. Oh my goodness, this is getting out of hand. Oh well, good job I love sewing. Good job I'm retired. Anyway, I hope you have a fabulous week. I really do. And so come back on Monday for some knitting and hear all about my Stephen North shawl. Oh, and yeah, I'll talk to you then. Okay, bye.